This is your tech news briefing for Friday, February 10th. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. On Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles at Super Bowl 57. Advertising is usually a big topic in the lead up to the big game, and often when we talk about ads around the Super Bowl, we talk about how expensive they are. Brands spending huge sums to get their commercials in front of so many eyeballs. But for Twitter, it's a little different this year. According to an email viewed by the Wall Street Journal, the social media platform is offering a last-minute deal to advertisers for the Super Bowl. Why is this fire sale happening, and will it attract companies? Joining us to discuss this is our digital advertising reporter, Patience Hagen. Hey, Patience, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Zoe.
Let's begin with a bit of background. Since Elon Musk took over last year, how has advertising on the platform been doing in general?
Well, after he took over, a lot of advertisers quit the platform. He immediately introduced a bunch of changes within days and weeks of taking over. He completely changed the site's rules for content moderation. He reinstated a lot of banned accounts. And those actions made advertisers worried about what kind of content their ads might appear next to. So brands pulled so much money out of Twitter.
So now they have this Super Bowl offer, though. Can you tell us what Twitter is exactly offering, what they're telling potential advertisers?
They're basically offering deals on Super Bowl advertising. One email that I saw that was sent to ad buyers, they called it a fire sale. They're telling people this is a bargain and having good prices to lure them back. They sell ads for Super Bowl weekend in packages, and they offered a package for $250K this year. Usually the cheapest package of those ads starts at $500K. Twitter's also bragging to advertisers about the popularity of the site these days. They're telling advertisers that the number of conversations on the site happening about the Super Bowl and the NFL is up significantly compared to last year.
Are advertisers being swayed by these offers and, by the claims that they've got more users on the platform?
Some advertisers are, especially smaller advertisers, are being lured back by the deals, according to what ad agencies tell me. The biggest spenders and the people who left with concerns over content moderation, for the most part, are not really being swayed by this.
Is Twitter releasing any new tools or any features that might help advertisers get over their concerns about content moderation?
Yes. Twitter recently released a new tool that allows advertisers to block their ads from appealing next to tweets that mention certain words. This is a way to avoid vulgar tweets or inflammatory tweets about certain controversial topics. Advertisers can create a list of 1,000 keywords and keep their ads from appearing above or below tweets that contain those keywords. That's an offering that has appealed to some advertisers. As for the brands that are going back, a lot of them aren't interested in it. And for the brands that aren't going back, my sources tell me a lot of them are listening with interest to the idea. They're really trying to keep their finger on the pulse of how Twitter is working on its content moderation.
Has Twitter commented at all about this fire sale or about advertisers returning at all?
Twitter has not commented about those things to the Wall Street Journal.
So they have this big deal for advertisers. They're talking about the number of people commenting about the Super Bowl on their platform. How important is the Super Bowl, or has the Super Bowl been historically to Twitter?
Historically, it's been their biggest weekend of the year. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all those 3 days together, bring in $35 million in U.S. ad revenue. And Sunday accounts for most of that, the game day itself. Twitter's really built up a reputation for itself as the place where people go to react to cultural events. When they're watching the big game live on TV, they're often scanning Twitter to see what other people are saying about it, and they're sharing their instant reaction to the game and to the ads. Twitter's built up that reputation, and they've really milked it. Kind of a breakthrough moment for them that made advertisers realize how they could leverage it came in the 2013 Super Bowl, where after the halftime show, there was a blackout for a little while. People took to Twitter to talk about the blackout, and Oreo famously tweeted a line that said, power's out, no problem, you can still dunk in the dark. It was just a catchy thing that really took on. It was a really successful tweet, and that's what made marketers realize Twitter is the place to be during the Super Bowl. It becomes the water cooler for the world. We have to be there to be part of the conversation.
Patience, you cover advertising, in general. How does Twitter then stack up to other Super Bowl advertising, which we often talk about as being a huge place for marketers?
The marquee part of the Super Bowl advertising is the commercials and the game, which this year cost like $7 million for a 30-second spot. But Twitter is that's the place where people react to what they're seeing on TV. And that's a place where any brand can afford to buy at least a little bit. That's a place where you can really control how you spend. You're not going to be priced out of it. So brands of all kinds, usually they would have a strategy for Twitter to be part of the conversation, whether that's buying ads on Twitter or even just tweeting organically, completely free. It's a crucial way for them to participate in the big day.
I'm curious if this goes right or this goes wrong for Twitter, what it means for its advertising revenue going forward.
If it goes right for Twitter, this could be their big moment to lure brands back and establish that they still occupy that crucial part of the nation's conversation, that they're the town square for the world like Elon Musk wants it to be. If it doesn't go well, there's certainly other social platforms that want that kind of status. TikTok, for instance, they're becoming a place where a lot of people go to react to live events and share cultural moments. So there's plenty of other competitors kind of waiting in the wings to hoover up that ad spending and hoover up the way that brands use Twitter during huge cultural events.
All right, that's our reporter, Patience Hagen. Patience, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for Tech News Briefing this week. TNB's producer is Julie Chang. Our supervising producer is Melanie Roy, and our executive producer is Chris Sinsley. I'm your host, Zoe Thomas. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.